Turner wins it, but Landale stole it. Loose ball. Look at Delhi getting down, looking for it early. And now a chance for the USA. And they will bring the ball forward. And it's Kemba Walker with it. One way back, the other. Oh, got the foul. Good help team. Well done, Paddy Mills, as he chased it down there. And a chance for the Boomers to open scoring as Ingles uses Baines. Top of the key. Here's Dellavedova. Good screen from Landale, who gets it now, shares it with Mills. Shot clock works to 10. He fires unsuccessfully. Athletic rebound. Miles Turner making a statement.
And what about Greg Popovich's first offensive play? He goes at his own star, Paddy Mills.
This is Mitchell elevating first score of the game for the USA.
And that's the area of the Australian defence that needs to pick up. The big man drops too far back. Guards come off and hit elbow jump shots. They'll make that all day.
Close range, Baines. He's fouled. He's off to the free throw line. The foul is on Miles Turner.
Have a look at Donovan Mitchell here. There you see, they push him away from the screen. They're in a drop situation, so the big man in those drop situations is trying to protect the rim, and that's Andre's philosophy. He says they will live with contested twos when the guy's coming from behind, but I'm with you, Hammer. I think at this elite level, you do need those bigs a little higher.
He will make 8 out of 10 of those, Donovan Mitchell, so Australia needs to make an adjustment. Baines needs to start higher and then drop back as the dribbler comes towards him.
They call it mushing. I don't know how whoever come up with that name, but when the big drops off and they just take it in there and they take the odds, come from behind, and just hope that they can intimidate that mid-range shot.
Nervous start to the game from Aaron Baines, an 81% free throw shooter in his career, but he misses both there. And penetration comes now from Donovan Mitchell, battled around the rim. Landale with a rebound. Mills off and running. Ingles quickly up the floor as well. Mills exploring, gets some paint. Oh, rejected. Again, great defensive pressure applied there by Jaylen Brown.
Wow. You're playing against a different level of athleticism with this American team all the way across the court.
Ingles muscles his way in from close range, can't complete it. Good work on the boards there from the United States as they come forward. Through Jaylen Brown, inside the paint, there was contact, no whistle provided. Cleaning up his own mess, Miles Turner adds another 2. USA has the first 4.
Just bully ball that time, throw it up, get your own rebound, but the rims are tight, brand new rims they've brought in for this occasion, and there's an offensive foul. I believe it'll be on Baines for the moving screen, but here's Turner coming in, just bullies his way through it. That's pretty tough to defend when you just remove the defense just like that.
Well, it was good defense from Aaron Baines.
Yeah.
You can't do much more than that. He needed his teammates to come in and get that defensive rebound. We know the athleticism of this team. They will get all over the boards tonight.
And unlike a lot of coaches in the NBA, Greg Popovich, he doesn't mind the mid-range shot either. Every play, his first possession's going at the rim. He's really trying to test the Australian defense early on.
Well, athletic work here going to the right hand, and Joe Harris opens his scoring account. The US have scored the first 6.
She's got 4 perimeter players. Everyone can put the ball on the floor. Even Turner, we saw the last time, could put it on the floor. That's tough to defend as Paddy Mills gets things going for Australia and knocks down the 3-ball.
And he's our most potent scorer. He had to get going early to put points on the board. He's 1 from 3, missed his first 2, but a great sign for Australia.
Now they need some defensive starch as well. Landale is there. And off and running, a chance now for Dellavedova. Baines, back to Dellavedova. Into the paint once more. Goes back to the right-hand side. Here's Landale from close range.
Jock Landale has the ability to be in the right place at the right time. It's instinctive with him. He can read his players. And Matty Dellavedova, if you get open, he'll find you.
Back-to-back baskets for the Boomers as they get 5 without reply. Elevating now. The shot comes from Kemba Walker. And Joe Ingles happy just to walk Australia back up the floor. Baines in the paint. Miles Turner on his back, trying to make room for the hook shot. Short-armed it. Miles Turner grabs the rebound. Chance now. Jaylen Brown hands over. Elevation came here from Joe Harris, and he knocks down another.
How quick. When you're fighting over the top of the screens, they did a good job that time, but just good defense, just better off.
Well, it's such a tough shot, knowing that you've got Ingles at 6'8", those long arms and the ability to be able to block that shot, just mentally to be able to stay with it.
Well, Mills fires, 8 on the shot clock, can't convert. Miles Turner grabs the rebound. USA out and running. Here's the danger man once more. Rattles around the rim. Turner kept it alive. Walker. Now a chance. A nice finish with the left hand. No, wouldn't work there for Donovan Mitchell. And eventually Baines puts a stop to it. Dellavedova running. Tick over 4 minutes played, opening quarter action. Ingles. It's off the mark. And well short.
It is well short. And not to make any excuses, we have a look down the other end. Look at Joe Harris. A little fake handoff. They bite. The defense bites on it and he rips it through. And down the other end, you've got Joe Ingles trying to fight over the top. He's right in his grill. But Joe Harris still good enough to knock it down.
And that last shot from Joe Ingles, that's a good one from Australia. That's a shot that we want Joe Ingles to take. He shot the ball so well in the NBA over the last number of seasons. One of the best in the business, so he needs to be able to get his feet set, but we need him knocking them down to have a chance.
This is Harris. A three-point shooting competition in the NBA. They look inside. Active hands from Australia there. Knock it down out of bounds away from Brook Lopez.
Yeah, and how about in this type of venue, it does take a little while to adjust. That very limited preparation or time on the floor, and it is so unique to adjust. You get your depth perception right and feel good about your shot.
Tatum's shot off the mark, and here's a chance for Dellavedova. He's got Golding going to work in close range. Couldn't complete it. Eventually, it falls.
We'll take that.
Any way you can get him. I like the aggressive move by Golding to get to the rim in transition.
USA by 2. Middle stages opening quarter. Logan on the floor as well. And plenty of contact there. The offensive foul is going to be called on the USA.
And that's a great defensive play from Andrew Bogut. Have a look at the block. Unbelievable.
Well, his head's up near the rim. Yeah. He's 6'3" down the other end. This is silly. That's great defense by Andrew Bogut. Lopez just pushing him down.
And we're starting to learn more about the way Andre Lamanis plays with his rotations now. Bogut first sub off the bench with Golding. Looks like they're the first 7 in that rotation.
So Bogut with it. Kuzma on his back. He shows him the ball. Spins baseline. From close range, worried out of a good D again from the USA and Kuzma, and they're off and running with Donovan Mitchell now, harassed by Golding, had the ball dislodged. They kick it outside. Harris works inside the defender.
Need control that, and it's not always, you've got to find the balance is offensively. A lot of quick shots so far. Sometimes just getting through motion, work the clock, try and keep the scores a little lower.
Patty Mills with it, guarded by Kuzma, found a way past. Again, the shot was rejected. Active work from Lopez once more at the defensive end. And a chance now for Team USA to come forward. Tatum feeds in the corner. Donovan Mitchell fires unsuccessfully. Oh, that looked like a foul, surely, from Lopez. Got away with it.
Sure was.
And Mills gets after the loose ball, but can only succeed and knock it down out of bounds. So back to the USA. Less than 4 minutes to play, term number 1.
Have a look at this. That's a great drive from Patty Mills, but just the athleticism here. Donovan Mitchell lets one rip, and that's the push you were talking about from Lopez. No doubt, 2 hands in the back of Aaron Baines. Would have got a free kick in the AFL.
Good move after Dellavedova almost disrupted that, but can't finish it there was Middleton, who's onto the floor. And a chance now. Well, Dellavedova's going solo.
He struggled against Canada. He's come down and just stops, pops and splashes a trifecta. And much needed. Only 4 of 13 now from the field. Really, it's 3 of 12 because they actually tipped one in for us.
Tatum, Kuzma top of the key. Baines couldn't get there quickly enough, and Kuzma fills it up. He's 2 of 2 from deep and has 6 points. He leads all scorers.
It's not like there's a whole lot of sophistication about the way Team USA are going about it. Just penetrate the dish, get to the rim, or spread the floor. But Aaron Baines steps out and knocks down a 3 himself.
Well, he struggled from in the post, but he just steps out. This 3-point line, let's not forget, compared to the NBA 3-point line, it is a hell of a lot closer.
Hammer another mid-range shot. Mitchell getting in around that free throw line, knocking it down. On-ball screen, still an issue.
Inside the last 3 minutes, term number 1, Mills exploring. This time puts his foot in the accelerator. Wouldn't fall, but he draws contact. Free throws to come for Paddy Mills.
Matthew Dellavedova's confidence, he's working on his shot, tinkering it with him, and that will do him a world of good. Just to come down and knock one down, that's backed up by Bainsey, stepping out and splashing a three. I think his first 3 shots against Canada in his game were 3-pointers, so he must have been working on the offside. I know he's improved that area, but come out with extreme confidence in the green and gold jersey.
Yeah, he has, but Daly was 3 from 16 against Canada over 2 games, so for him to be able to knock down that 3-point shot is going to be a boost for his confidence, as you mentioned. And he doesn't have to be a big scorer on this team, but he still has to be able to contribute and get his 8 to 12 points. We know he's a great passer and one of the better defenders on the team as well.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. That's just a tremendous effort by Andrew Bogut. That's a cardinal sin. Right now, Greg Popovich is internally really, really disappointed to give up an offensive board off a free throw. That's cardinal sin.
Well, the Boomers back to within 2.5 remaining here in this first quarter. And they'll take that as well. The USA firing from deep. Here's Golding. He goes solo. Up the front of the rim. Well, Tatum had it, couldn't control it. Mills shares it now. Ingles picks up the dribble. Bogut as they reset. Now Ingles puts it on the floor once more. No room for him. Wanted Bogut. In fact, wanted Golding. Bogut got in the way, and an over and back violation will be called on the Boomers.
And that's a shot in transition that the Boomers have got to be very careful of. Chris Golding kicked up the sideline, and we know he's a great shooter, but he's going to be a better shooter after 3 or 4 passes, some ball and player movement. Then we know he'll knock that down, because the danger is America gets a defensive rebound and they run it down your throat for 2 easy ones.
Again, spot on, Hammer. It's tempo control, and you've got to control that, help control it with what you do on the offensive end. If we get into a shooting contest, it's going to be tough for us to win.
Shot clock about to expire. They get it off just in time. So good pressure D from the Australians, and are out and running. Mills couldn't control the pass. They've coughed it up, and a chance now for Middleton to bring the USA back. Outside, Kuzma elevates. So Kuzma is putting on a show. He's 3 of 3 in the game. He's got 9 points, and it's a 4-point spread 95 seconds out from quarter time.
Well, don't be surprised. The average is 18 points in the NBA, so he's playing with a whole lot of confidence. And some of these guys are trying to do their best to earn more court time off Popovich as well. And he's had a very good start.
Well, that's it. Kuzma, he's just got a beautiful stroke and plays within himself. That is just a beautiful release, great arc on the shot. And in these international games, you just get to see how pretty the backspin is on it.
I like his work too with the peroxide too. He's rocking that.
The Mills sits down. Australia to restart. Shot clock working down. Give and go on inside. Dellavedova gets it done as he comes up with his second field goal.
Yeah, that's Andrew Bogut right there. You get open, he'll get you the ball as well. That cutting action when he receives it is absolutely essential, because it's a way to pick up some cheap baskets.
Elliott play for Plumlee. A little misdirected. He stepped out of court. So they turn it over. Matthew Dellavedova started the play and finished it.
That's a great cut. And he really used his body to be able to put the defense in a bad position. And as you spoke about Andrew Bogut, that's why he's proven to be one of the better passing centers in the world.
Ingles fires. That's off the mark. Kuzma the rebound. A chance now for Kemba Walker to bring the USA forward. Inside the last minute of the opening term. Walker. Nice finish. His first points in the game.
You don't see that too often. Matthew Dellavedova on skates with a crossover dribble from Walker.
Dellavedova back the other way. Elevates, no room for the shot. Bogut, quick ball movement. Golding trying to shake Tatum, spins into the paint. Fall away from Golding, all the bottom of the net.
Great body control by Chris Golding. And although we score on this one, it seems like right now we are playing like the Americans are playing. And eventually the greater talent on the Americans' end will catch up with you. That's got to be a charge.
Plumlee picks up the offensive foul and doing it at both ends of the floor. The Boomers as Dellavedova takes one for the team.
They're the 1%ers that Andrew Dellavedova has made a living from.
Matty Dellavedova.
Read him like a cheap novel. Have a look at that.
That's beautiful.
He knew exactly where he was going. And Australia get the last possession, 11.5 to go in the first quarter. The chance to take the lead.
And Dellavedova brings them forward. They left him alone. Goes the three, can't connect. Plumlee with it now. Kuzma from half court. He fires. Oh, did everything but fall. Oh, what an opening quarter. And the Boomers, after being down by 6 points earlier in the term, have closed within a single bucket. It's quarter time here in front of 50,000 at Marvel Stadium. 50,000 at Marvel Stadium.
If they start getting their eye in this United States team, but compliments to Australia right now, they've really been able to stay in this game.
Golding with it. Now Bogut with Plumlee slapping away at the ball. Pass intended for Golding, deflected out of court. Leaves Australia with 11 on the shot clock. Golding restarts from the baseline. This is Ingles. Middleton right with him. Okay, trying to post up Kuzma. Ingles puts it on the floor. Shot clock works to 2 as he fires. Gets it done. Foul's going to be called on Middleton. Chance at a three-point play.
That's a great take from Joe Ingles. We're used to seeing him do his best work when he's playing off the pick and roll. That time it was just a pull through, got himself to the middle on his favoured left hand. Great touch. And that'll do his confidence a world of good as well.
It will. And Middleton, they're just getting caught up. Suspect their rules, there's no middle, take away the middle penetration, but with Joe Ingles on his preferred left hand, made something out of it. Doesn't look all that quick, but able to get it. Beautiful slow-mo when he's going fast.
Australia in front for the first time, opening 30 seconds, term number 2 after the USA had scored the first 6 of the game. This is Plumlee handing over. Harris, two-man game at the moment. Kuzma joins in. Nice pass intended for Plumlee. They're just not operating completely in sync at the moment, Team USA.
And they'll be trying to get their combinations right, and different guys playing with each other for the first time as well. So they'll need a little bit of patience. And this is part of the process, obviously, to the World Cup. So Popovic will be looking at different things that they're working on as well.
Against Spain 3 or 4 days ago, they had 23 turnovers in that game. As Andrew Bogut goes down the middle, and with the 2 hands tucks it in very nicely. Just opened up for him.
Terrific work from Australia. Have exploded at the start of term number 2 here, and they'll count that as well as Kemba Walker gets 2 draws a foul.
And this is what Andrew Bogut provides. You know, fakes that dribble handoff, keeps it alive. He's got the quickness for a 7-footer to be able to put the ball on the floor, make a pass, or finish like that. We saw it all year in the NBL. That's why he's the league's MVP.
That one there, very lucky. Plumlee bit a little bit on Dellavedova coming for the handoff. He only needed just that small bit of separation of Bogut, particularly when he's on his left hand. Although he's right-handed, he prefers to use his left and takes advantage of it.
Minute played, term number 2. It's Australia on top by a point here. Nick Kay with it. Golding found some space. Difficult shot. Worried out of the points there by Donovan Mitchell. And a chance now for Miles Turner to bring USA forward. Kuzma. Well, look at the tricks we're seeing from Kemba Walker. He almost lost control of it. Shot clock rolls to single digits. They need to get busy. Mitchell ran into Bogut, got problems, double teamed. They're not going to get an effective shot away. Mitchell with a shot clock in the background. That's excellent D from the Boomers.
Great defense. There was a lot of action too. Dribble handoff. Double drag screens as well, and Australia did a great job, much improved at the defensive end compared to what we saw against Canada last week.
And I like the instinctive trap on the ball in those last 6 seconds of the shot clock. Tie the passer up and got rewarded.
Bogut finds Dellavedova. Shot clock works to 10. Dellavedova exploring, goes on with it. Ran into a dead end. Foot violation going to be called on Walker. Real energy about the Boomers. We didn't see this against Canada in the 2 games a week ago. They certainly appear to be operating far more functioning as a group than they did then.
Well, they're up to 43% from the field and start to make some shots. It's amazing when you see the ball going through the rim. It just builds that confidence.
Well, I think the positive is too, Australia has forced 5 turnovers already from America.
Mills fires. Can't connect. Flying through, Kemba Walker grabs the rebound to bring Team USA forward. Took over 2 minutes played, term number 2. Walker decides to go solo, and it was a good option.
And that's that same look that we're talking about off the pick and roll. That time Andrew Bogut virtually under the hoop. He has to come out further to contest that shot.
I'm not sure that's Delhi's shot, particularly. That's a no-pass offense. Come down. Sure, he's open, but particularly when USA on a bit of a run here.
Donovan Mitchell goes solo as well. They have rattled off the streak here. The USA, but they'll be happy with the way the equation stands at the moment.
And the formula for Australia is going to be very similar to what we had in Rio. 6 of these guys were there, and Paddy 21 points a game, and he shot it at 47% in Rio, so he's going to be a big part of the success of the Boomers.
Dellavedova on the pass for Mills was off the mark.
Well, I think he was actually on the mark, but Paddy didn't read that flare was actually open for him, so he passed it where he wanted Paddy to go for that open three. But at the moment, America only 4 for 13 from the three-point line. They shot 48% against Spain last week.
Walker elevates, he's off the front of the rim, got after it with his own rebound and tried to help it in there. Miles Turner putting on the finishing touches.
Sorry, Case, but it's a 9-0 run right now, and each one of these possessions starts to become more and more critical.
Paddy now 1 from 7 from the field. That's a good shot for him. He has to continue to take it. But again, this is where Australia needs to be able to hold tough. If we go cold at the offensive end, can we hold our own? Can we protect the fort at the other end and get some defensive stops against a world-class team?
Well, that's right, Hammer, because you're always going to go, it doesn't matter what team you're playing for, you're always going to have those periods, and there's a little tough one for Matty Dellavedova. Down the end, again, just in transition, and Brown gets to the cup. I think Kay needs to be a little bit more aggressive on that, slide his feet, perhaps looking for a switch, but down the other end,
over here too, please.
Good read by Matty. Knew that Walker was coming underneath him, and just that's really just playing one pass ahead. He knew his defender was going to be out. He knew the contact was coming, so he threw it up, and fortunately for him in Australia, it dropped in.
And that's the second time we've seen that backdoor play. Good read between Dellavedova and Andrew Bogut.
So the Aussies break the drought. Almost 4 minutes played here in this second term. Margin at 6. Mitchell elevates, can't connect. Good body positioning there from Baines. Just held his opponent at bay. Landale back onto the floor. This is Dellavedova. Gets it back from Baines. Shot clock to 10 in the corner, off the mark. A rebound drilled in there by Miles Turner. And a chance for Team USA to come forward once more through Tatum. Shows them some tricks. Now it's Jaylen Brown in traffic. Almost lost it. Stayed with it. They share the ball around. Tatum fires and comes up with the finishing touches.
Line up on the floor when you've got your 2 bigs on, and the United States are playing with 4 perimeter guys. It's Jock Landale or Aaron Baines is going to have to chase someone out in the perimeter, which they're not normally accustomed to.
So Paddy Mills with it. Top of the key. He elevates, fires. And rebound belongs there to Joe Harris. So good patch here for Team USA. Harris was bumped by Dellavedova. It goes unwhistled. Tatum in the corner once more. He fills it up. The margin balloons out now. And we've got a 12-point lead with the USA. 11 points it is. USA making their move.
Term that he wants players that are over themselves, and I think most Aussies fall into that category.
Australia with 7 scorers so far in the game. Dellavedova has the USA with 7 scorers so far. Kyle Kuzma has 9, all in that opening quarter to lead the USA.
And Mitch Creek seeing his first minutes tonight.
So Paddy Mills with the ball carrying duties. Middle stages, term number 2. Just get the impression that the USA starting to assert their authority. Boomers need a steadying basket. They roll it down to Baines. Here's Creek trying to muscle up against Turner. Landale, Ingles, shot clock to 5. Need to get something happening. It's Landale. Foot rattled around the rim and didn't like the look and jumped out.
Oh my.
That did everything good, everything but go in. He's brought that into his game. He was 44% at the 3-point line in the Summer League, which their 3-point line's a little further than the one we're playing on here. But right now, between Canada and this game, he's now 0 of 8 from the 3-point line is Jock Landale.
Quick ball movement from the Aussies. Can't find an opening for the moment. Ingles loses control. Single digits on the shot clock now as he gets it back from Baines. He's wide open. Ingles fires. It's well short. Rebound falls into the lap of Miles Turner.
Both Joe Ingles and Matthew Dellavedova have both missed their three-point shots short since we've seen them play in Australia.
Mills in the corner. Good look.
Probably needed that one. Got to get a wide open one. Sometimes they can be tougher than the easy ones because you're that open, you start thinking about it, but Paddy knocks it down. 2 of 9 now, 2 of 7 from the three-point line.
Whistle on the play. Foul going to be called on the Boomers.
Green, 3. What do you mean?
Landale's blocked though. The athleticism, the extension, outstanding.
That's more about timing than, I think, athleticism. He just reads it well and uses his size and down the other end. Great recognition by Joe Ingles. He'd know that Paddy's missed a few that he'd normally make, and he'd also know in order for Australia to get going, Paddy Mills needs to get going, so he tees him up with a wide open one in the corner.
Got problems here, Middleton working to a trap. Mills relieving the possession and off and running. Left alone, shares it with Baines. Got Turner in the air, marches into the paint from close range, can't complete it. Brown puts a stop to it, grabs the rebound. And Middleton guarded by Creek. Shares it with Brown. Down low, chance here for Tatum, who elevates in a mismatch over Paddy Mills. Couldn't complete it, loose ball. Tatum gets after it, keeps it alive, and USA will reset here.
That's a serious mismatch with Tatum against Paddy Mills. He's got about a 6 or 7 inch height advantage.
Middleton from just beyond the foul line comes up with a good, his first score in the game.
Well, I don't think it's any coincidence when you look at the rebound count now. It's up to 18-11. This little run that the United States have been on, they've started to dominate the glass.
Heavy contact off the ball, and the shot goes up. Donovan Mitchell just clutching his stomach here after being poleaxed. And then trapping Ingles reaches in against Jason Tatum and be called for the foul.
Yeah, I got 55.
Chris Middleton, he's a
Green, 55.
absolute superstar. We got 18 points a game last year with the Bucks. Again, it's that mid-range shot which a lot of teams, a lot of coaches don't like, but when you can shoot it like
44-point average, but
yes,
54-point average.
That is a fair margin. 92, it was, and Hammer and I were around in 92. The Americans had a significant advantage there, but I don't even think it was in the 30s, I think, in 92.
44.
44, was it? 44?
They were very, very good. You and I sat in the front row behind Michael Jordan, Larry Bird and co. Magic Johnson was there. We were in awe.
We were.
Here's Paddy Mills exploring into the paint. Nothing on offer. Goes to Landale. Golding wide open. Yes!
That's what he's in the team for too. He gets open, those wide open shots. Good stroke. Need to get Chris Golding going.
Brown with it. Wanted Tatum. Denied that by Golding's excellent deep. So elects to go solo front of the rim. Mills scurries after the rebound. Creek to his left. Golding joining in as well. Can he go back to back? Yes, sir!
And that's what he's like. He shoots him in clumps. He can get very, very streaky. And that'll do his confidence the world of good. And they've got to keep milking that. Keep milking that shot with Chris Golding.
Boomers have scored the last 6. Margin cut to 5. A little over 90 seconds out from halftime, and they're active at the defensive end at the moment. Shot clock works to 5. Brown isolated in a mismatch with Landale. Takes him down. Landale is having nothing of it and slams it back down.
I was a little worried, like we said, about the lineup, but Landale with the pass, the assist to Golding. And again in transition, when you just made one, you're as good a shooter as Chris Golding. There's never any doubt about him going to take that, but down the other end of the floor, Jock Landale, I was worried about some of the matchups, but he's doing a great job of just spacing the defence, and when they come inside the paint, he's using his length well to protect the rim and got a couple of blocks.
They try Golding, he's knocked down taking the shot, the big body there, Brook Lopez.
That's not his shot. They needed to go to him, but that's not the one I think that they were designing.
From close range, coming up with the 2. Lopez does it at both ends of the floor. And Kuzma's got it again. 7-point lead for Kuzma as he goes hard to the hoop. Baines stands his ground.
Well, Baines bailed out Paddy Mills there. That was a terrible pass. Have a look at Middleton. Beautiful pass, great hands, good catch. Lopez right around the basket, and there's the foul, the charging foul. Aaron Baines does a good job. Defensive transition's been pretty solid. Big fella's getting back, protect the paint, closing out.
Here we go.
Guarding areas in defensive transition and match up, because the USA, they're going to test your D-trans more than any other team in the World Cup.
So a chance for the Boomers to edge a little closer. Mills skirting the baseline, takes on Kuzma, draws him out. Now Landale, mismatch here with Kemba Walker, looks inside Mills, does a good job and draws a foul on Middleton in the process. Chance at a three-point play.
Great vision by Jock Landale, but the cutting action, got to have that weak side cutting action every time you see the post up. A little stagnant, and then Paddy Mills sneaks in there, and Middleton a little unlucky, just tried to flip that out, hand in the wrong spot, and Paddy Mills takes advantage of it. Great stuff by Paddy Mills, finishing in traffic. Good little run now by the Australian team.
85% free throw shooter in a 10 years, 605-game NBA career. One of two so far in this one. What a star he's been for Australia, Paddy Mills, both on and off the floor. He's into double figures with 10. Golding has 10. And they lead the game at the moment. Kuzma with 9 for the USA.
Good 9-2 run to close out this first half.
Just taking the USA out of their stuff at the moment as well. Check going to be called on Chris Golding. So that will be the fourth team foul on Australia in this term. Likewise, the USA has 4 team fouls in term number 2.
Scotty.
5 fouls on Australia overall, on individuals, 8 on Team USA. Middleton's got 2, Lopez has 2. Only multiples foul gatherers so far. Middleton off the mark and Golding has it. So Australia will look for the last play here of the first half. And what an important momentum builder it could be. They're back to within 4 after being down by as many as 11 during the middle stages of this second term. Bogut at the top of the key. Here's Mills now. Away from Middleton, elevating for the triple. Yes! Oh, what a finish to the first half for the Australian Boomers as they reel off 6 unanswered points. And they get it. Go in the second half here. Australia are back to their original starting 5. And it is the USA with the possession arrow. And Joe Harris gets proceedings started. Chance now for Donovan Mitchell, getting some treatment from Dellavedova. Harris just bobbled the pass. Miles Turner had it stripped away. Active hands from Joe Ingles presents an opportunity for the Australian Boomers. Working hard, Baines a little out of control. Mills trying to keep it alive. It was not appealing to the optic nerve. And look at Coach Pop, 70 years of age. He's still got the wills to beat them all.
Baseline 14.
A lot of hustle in there.
Lucky he didn't pull a hammy, I reckon,
no.
from Pop.
Well, I think
off the mark quick.
It's about the court's a metre elevated off the ground, so I think he was concerned that the ball might have dropped away. And not an impressive start so far. First couple of possession. Have a look at Pop. Look at the hustle on the man. Dive, Pop. Got there. And Donovan Mitchell, was it?
Lucky he had the tracksuit on too. What happened to the suit and tie?
Well, he's in pre-season mode.
Clear.
Landale with it. Uses Baines. Hand over for Dellavedova. A sag off him, Baines. Lob pass from close range. Gets the finishing touches. He puts Australia back in front.
And that pass by Dellavedova is spot on. Absolutely perfect, and put it on a platter for Baines.
Mitchell, quick step, got beyond Mills, confronted by Baines, forced into error, coughed it up, gave it to Ingles. It's stolen back by Joe Harris, and now Mitchell, wide open. Can't complete it. Dellavedova did well. Harris did better. Whistle on the play. Foul's going to be called. And Aaron Baines with the finishing touches here.
And have a look at this with Matthew Dellavedova. You called it best, Rui. That's the environment he needs to be in. Dribble handoffs, pick and rolls. Joe Ingles is the same, because when they don't actually come off to score, they come off to be able to provide great assists for their teammates.
Baines, a little lucky. Might have hint of an offensive foul there with the push-off.
Also lucky the possession before with a couple of extra steps on the catch.
Turner marches into the paint. They talk him out of it. And Ingles, look at the Australian sprint the floor. Dellavedova caught it in rhythm. Couldn't finish it. Baynes looking at the offensive rebound. Out wrestled Joe Harris and gave it to Mills.
That would have brought the house down. 1 point lead for the Boomers. A big Paddy triple would have got everyone off their seats.
Walker takes on Landale and comes up with a 2 and put the USA back on top.
And they learned in the international game, the little tip in there, that was on the rim. And in the NBA, that's offensive goaltending. I love the rule. Makes it so clean. So once it hits the rim, both offense and defense can get it. I like it.
Baynes muscles into the paint. Flat-looking hook shot. Couldn't make it work. Donovan Mitchell now. Up the floor. Good screen from Turner. Feeds Kemba Walker. Oh, that's pretty to watch.
It is. It's the pass again at the other end of the... This time, Kemba Walker with a nice little slice cut to the basket.
Double drag screen out of transition. Tough to defend, but then when you get your guys cutting behind the defense head, good basketball.
Shot clock works to single digits here. Dellavedova, penetration, contact, no whistle. Can't finish it. Got his own rebound. Slaps it to the advantage of Baynes for the 3. Can't make it work. Just Turner the rebound. Leading that category in the game. He's got a dozen rebounds, Turner. Australia's got 20 as a team. He's firing from deep as well, and he's got the range to match.
These are the runs that the USA make that just break your back. Australia's done so well to be able to fight and had the lead only a couple of minutes ago, and then all of a sudden turnovers like this, it just fuels the potency of the USA.
They've scored the last 7 points here for USA to open up a 6-point buffer. We played a tick over 3 minutes here. Term number 3 from Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. Swift ball movement into the corner for Barnes to come up with his first points in the game, and a 10-0 run from on.
And you know, the defense is important. A couple of turnovers has led to some transition baskets, but they've been pretty good, like you said, Hammer, with only the 8. But a couple they get away from, and then just the shots. You talk about the defense, and yeah, that's got to be the foundation, but you've got to make shots, and Australia hasn't done this, that to start this second half.
So Ingles and Landale combined in the backcourt. Ingles down low, running out of room, harassed by Kemba Walker. Bogut hands over for Mills, bounces off Mitchell. Back to Bogut. Shot clock works to 5 now. They look inside. Landale wasn't expecting it, and the Australians have coughed it up here. Turnover number 9 for them. The USA also with 9 in that category.
And that was a great defensive set from America. Joe Ingles was coming down off his left hand. They were trying to get a flare pick for Pat Mills on the baseline. They said, no, sirree, we've seen this play before.
Turner, shot clock at 7. They share it around. And nice finishing touches provided by Donovan Mitchell.
And this is what happens, Case, when you step up to play against great teams. I remember running plays for Andrew Gaze, the great Andrew Gaze back in the day. We'd run backdoor plays. We did it against America and Joe Dumas, and you went to go backdoor, and he said, no, mate.
No, but the thing about that is right now, I think they've got to try and find a way at least to have a look at something cheap. Now, there we see it in transition. Landale go to the line. But coming down when the 3 ball's not dropping and just spraying it away, you're not going to outshoot them. You're not going to run and gun against this team. And finding a way to change the tempo, get something cheap, work your way to the free throw line when you're going through these dry spells.
Well, they just don't get fooled on these sort of plays out of timeouts. These guys have got so much experience, and you're playing 80 to 100 games a year in the NBA.
Even if they do, they've got the athleticism to cover themselves for any little slip-up.
Mills gets it from Ingles, looks inside. Landale with a turnaround 2.
Good find by Paddy. And good finish. Good touch, good hands around the basket by Landale.
Walker exploring, now picks up the dribble. Donovan Mitchell. Covered by Dellavedova. Screen from Turner, opens up the floor for Mitchell. He's too good, and he knocks it down. He's got 11, the first player from the USA into double figures.
Now, anyone in the world can tell me that's a bad shot. It doesn't.
Let it go, Andrew. Mills elevates, was fouled. Can't get a user-friendly roll, but off to the free throw line.
5, 3, 6 shots.
Look at Paddy, had him pinned, had the advantage. Harris playing behind, and good touch with the nice left. Here we talk about this right here, that little mid-range jumper. We've spoken about Bogut and the centres, or the guy guarding the screen, it needs to be a little higher. But that, a lot of the analytics tells you that that's a rubbish shot.
Well, we know it's not. And that must be instruction from the Aussies to play the centres as far back as they had. Surely they would have made an adjustment from the Canadian game.
Well, a lot of it I'm hearing, and you might hear it in the with the calls. A lot of the times Australia's yelling out ice. When you hear them calling out ice, ice, what they're referring to is when you're guarding the on-ball screen, don't let your man accept the screen. Try and force him away from the screen and the help will be there. But if you call ice and the big man's off and they actually get over the screen, then it becomes very, very difficult.
So the Boomers close the gap to single digits here, middle stages of the third term. Started this quarter with the USA in front by a single point. Australia took the lead at the start of this term. They got down by 12, trying to work their way back into the frame. Here's Kuzma firing. Oh, he's been outstanding tonight. He knocks down another. That's 4 of 5 from him. He's got 12. Taylor Mills with 15 has more in the game.
Oh, we're just got to get a hand to it. I think it's automatic. 4 of 5 from the three-point line. I think he's hit the ring once.
Bogut for Mills is active. Ball deflected out of court.
Have a look at Kuzma. You can draw up the most prettiest, beautiful plays in the world. You can execute and perfectly, but if you can't do that and put the agate in the rim, it makes the game very, very hard.
Well, he's just got the perfect form, hasn't he? He's just no effort about it. Just a little pick and pop, and they saw that time Paddy Mills was pushing the ball handler to the baseline, so he just flare picked wide open.
Golding fires with 4 on the shot clock, needed to get it off, and it's all the bottom of the net for Golding, who's now got 13, including 3 of 4 from deep.
I think he got fouled on that one as well. Have a look. Here he is. They're up in him. Tatum a little late. You didn't quite see it, but the contact on the arm and the body. Much needed. Free ball from Chris Golding, stepping up big in this contest tonight.
First 3 of this term for the Boomers. I would say 6 of 9 from the field have been good. Taking some time to get up the floor here, Tatum. Goes on with it, and Golding went on with it as well, and he was called for the foul.
And I like the enthusiasm from Chris Golding, but when playing against somebody that's a little bit quicker, more athletic, you've got to pick your right gap. It's got to be a balance to be able to stay between him and the bucket, but at the same time not allow him the space to be able to knock down an open shot.
Tatum with it once more. 7 points, all in that second term, and he adds to the tally now. Double-figure lead. Never been bigger than 11 in the game as Dellavedova comes forward. Bogut and Plumlee goes behind the back. What a sweet pass. He finds Paddy Mills for the finishing touches.
Oh, Andrew Bogut, the 7-footer. What a read.
Mills up to 17 in the game. Mitchell was after that, but he didn't need to be because he has come up with another bucket.
Well, I will talk because Drew's about to explode about the analytics of giving up 2-point shots. See the alley-oop unsuccessful, but there needs to be an adjustment. You can't allow players of this level to be able to come up pick and rolls and hit elbow jump shots for the entire night.
Well, that's right, and you know, I'm a huge advocate again, just coming off a screen, and with that size advantage, that's where if you're going to ice, you can't let him use the screen. But look at the pass and beautiful read by Paddy Mills. Australia do a great job. Whenever the ball goes into the post, the weak side action is good. Another turnover, but they get bailed out by another turnover. And Golding gets to the line, but he's going to shoot 3 freebies. So a nice little bit of play there for Australia. Some ugly play, but effective for Australia.
Well, the whinge and win. He complained about the last one when he didn't get one. Saved it for the next where he'll get 3 rather than the extra bonus on the one that he made. So Chris Golding, he has certainly been good off the bench. 5 from 9 and from the field.
The thing about Pop, and all the coaches, now he sees this matchup with Tatum and Golding. Tatum's going to work. The problem they've got is they're going to milk that. They're going to keep going at it, keep getting the ball until an adjustment is made. That's why you should. You feel like you've got an advantage, keep going to it.
Nice cameo from Golding here as well. 85% free throw shooter. And his 12-year NBL career here. Been a former grand final MVP as well. Averaged 15 points a game to be top 15 in the competition last season. At the Olympics in 2016, Golding had a tournament high 22 against Venezuela and did it at the 2014 Worlds as well when he had 22 in the game against Angola.
Well, he's playing himself into a critical role. He's 3 of 4 from the three-point line. You take his stats out, the rest of the team is 5 from 20. So if he can have this sort of punch on a regular basis off the bench, it's going to be vital for the Boomers come the World Cup.
No doubt, isn't that fast approaching? FIBA 2019 World Cup in China a week away. There's Tatum. Penetration, Plumlee rolling to the hoop. Oh, Golding's D was outstanding as well, and Plumlee had to turn around and say, where did that come from?
That's right, good recovery, and that'll give the bigs a little bit more confidence to come out. If he knows this type, if Bogues and the bigs know that this type of help's coming, that helps in their motivation to get off their man, perhaps get a little higher on those on-ball screens.
Tatum, tough shot. Nice soft touch, though, as he comes up with the finishing touches and putting together a nice game as well. Now Tatum, 11.
And that defensive play from Golding was nice, but you've got to take your hat off to Bogut. That time he went out a little bit further and met the ball, but still had the flexibility to be able to get back, stop his man, and do a good job to compete at the hoop without fouling.
They got the matchup they like, and it's now over to Australia and whether they make some changes.
USA by 10, Golding. Here's Mills, high arc on the shot. Good D, talked him out of it. The USA decided just to up the ante here. And the challenge for Australia is to go with them. Less than 3 minutes left, term number 3. Well, that's just a little too easy from Kemba Walker.
Wow.
Took them to school there, adds the 2. So he's into double figures as well now. That's 4 double-figure players for the USA from close range. Needs to do better than that, Nick Kay. Couldn't complete it.
That time was just perceived pressure more than actual pressure, just thinking the bigs are coming, and Nick Kay short-armed it.
Brown, he elevates, knocks down the 2. The USA lead by 14 here. It's the biggest margin we've seen at any stage.
To get back to the game, this has been a spectacular shooting display by the United States in this quarter. They're 12 of 16, shooting at 75%.
Oh, my.
On the flip side, Australia 4 of 11, and throw in some really tardy turnovers. Hasn't been a great quarter. USA defense is cranked up. There's no doubt about that, but really need to be better from the Australian point of view.
Well, they've been restricted only 15 points in this term. Shot clock down to 3. Ingles overdue.
Well, that may be better for Australia because Paddy should have shot that. You called it through him. But it came to Joe Ingles, who hasn't found his range. And sometimes when you just get that open one, it can lead to more.
Well, we certainly saw that with Chris Golding. He got cooking once he made a couple.
So Mills, Ingles with it now. By Tatum. Looks around the perimeter. Lob pass, Baines inside from close range. Just worried out of it there by Tatum. Plumlee keeps it alive, and now Brown.
Beautiful passing game by Ingles.
He's one of the best players in his position in the NBA, coming off on balls like that. And he's got that length. When you're 6'8", you come around that beautiful left hand. He's got great touch shooting, but he's got just as good touch being able to find his teammates as we see him go bang at the end of the shot clock.
Have a look at the collision down the other end. That was a great find. Paddy just trying to fight over the top of the screen. And
friendly fire there for Jason Tatum as well, with Walker coming past.
Back of the bonds, wasn't it? With the knee.
That's one when you're not even trying to get over the screen. You say, I'm going to run through this bloke and send a message because he is defending me pretty hard at the other end.
Wow. This is a shooting clinic they're putting on out here now.
How about that from Walker? 14 in the game.
It might take a courageous move, but at some point in time, when you try these different formulas, maybe you look at a zone.
Nick Kay works into the paint with the left hand. Never looked likely. Kuzma the rebound, off and running, quickly up the floor. Brown working on Baines, got him off balance. Baines wants to call at the other end of the floor. Foul's going to belong to him. Look at this from Kemba Walker, though. Lulls you to sleep.
Well, you don't average 26 in the NBA for no reason. The guy's a superstar. You see the other end, great little crossover, spin dribble, up fake. But I'm with you, Drewy. I mean, when you play international basketball, you have to have something up your sleeve, a little zone, whether it's a 1-3-1 or a 2-3 zone, just to be able to take them out of what they normally do. They don't play against zones that often in the NBA, so for them, they would be just out of sorts a little bit, and maybe they go into something different and force them in away from some of their strengths. So I don't think there's anything to lose for Andre Lamanis, down 15.
10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock as we head toward three-quarter time. Golding, Kuzma showed him some tricks, got it off but can't connect. Getting after the loose ball, Jason Tatum with it.
One pass on ball, I know they're trying to get it up, but I'm not sure that's going to be the answer either on the offensive end.
Oh, Kuzma.
There you go, they see a little different as they try to stall for the last shot. Australia take the gamble, extend the D, look for a trap, and cause a turnover. So something a little bit different that time on that possession. I can understand though with Andre Lamanis the way in which they've just been blistering white hot, why he might be a little gun shy to have a look at his own, but
they come from different looks, as we see an offensive foul there. But when you're in a man-to-man, you're playing this sort of pick-and-roll basketball that Americans are used to being able to play with the NBA day in, day out. Playing against the zone, you get different looks for your three-point shot. And I think forcing them into making those passes is certainly worth a gamble for the start of the fourth quarter for Andre Lamanis to try and get some sort of momentum, push them out of their actions.
Heading toward three-quarter time, Walker charges into the paint, can't convert, pounds Baynes down in the process. They've stamped their authority here in term number 3 of the United States, and after leading by 1 and in fact trailing at the start of this, there's Mitchell. At the start of this, there's Mitchell penetrating off the mark. Baynes grabs the rebound. Dellavedova shares it with Joe Ingles. 6 points on 2 of 6 shooting for Ingles so far in the game. He lobs it down where Baynes is wrestling there with Miles Turner. Baynes is energised. He wants to make things happen.
He does, and this is not the usual way you think he's going to energise the team, but it's a nice one. There's a help. See the help there that time that the defence comes, leaves Baynes wide open from the perimeter. That time does a good job of locking himself up and drawing a foul.
8.6 boards for Aaron Baynes. Dellavedova baseline. Landale had it stolen away from him, and a chance now for Team USA, and they go forward. And it's hard to stop that sort of work there coming from Kemba Walker. Started to play, and he finished it. Australia turned the ball over for the 13th time. USA with 12 in that category. Almost a minute played here in this final term. As these teams go at it again on Saturday, Walker, good screen from Turner. They got him an open look. Can't complete it. Landale the rebound over to Dellavedova. Exploring down low, found an opening, and they can't prevent Dellavedova from adding the 2. He's into double figures, his first score in the second half.
And that's a great little step-up pick in transition. Dellavedova normally looking to drive and dish to his teammates. That time he found a way all the way.
My goodness.
Happy feet there, Andrew?
Gee, if you're not going to call a travel on that, then you might as well just put the rule away. But there's Delly. Nice little wraparound. There was some, well, from up here, and mind you, we are a long way away. Oh, but there was a few steps
5
there.
steps. You're not allowed to take 5 steps? He had happy feet.
Well,
looked like he was dancing on coals.
Just, I know they're pretty liberal with the travelling rules these days.
Where?
Everywhere.
Well, not in FIBA, we're not.
Well, not normally, but even now, FIBA have got the last few introduced a new gather step before you take your 2 steps. So they've become a little bit more liberal with it. But that one there, I'm not sure how you get away with that.
14-point lead for the USA. 90 seconds done in the final term. Baynes inside. Landale has been a presence off the window. Can't complete it. How about the work of Miles Turner on the boards? He's got 14 to lead that category in the game. And with 11 points as well, and he's looking to add to that. Why not?
The pick and roll defense has still been a problem for Australia, but I like them offensively. We've got some good looks when we're running more step-ups, so more north-south and going downhill rather than these east-west screens that come from the sideline.
Baines found position, just couldn't get enough on the shot though. And he's into the chest of Miles Turner as well. He's an angry man.
He's not happy right now, and very competitive, as all these guys are, and he checks out, I think. Andrew Bogut coming back in. He'll get better. Solid performance by Baines, but all these guys, a lot of them haven't played in a long time. 2 or 3 months for some of them, notwithstanding the Canadian games, but before that, they've had a big spell before they've been in real action.
Harris couldn't complete it, gets it back now. Turner got rid of Golding and helps himself to another 2. 15 points, 14 boards. This has been some sort of display.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it, when you've got your bigs that can create that action from the perimeter.
Australia with problems here at the moment. Finding themselves down by 18. 5 on the shot clock. It goes up and unsuccessfully. Loose ball. Harris gets after it. He's quickly up the floor. And the trailer, here's the man Turner once more. Well, Bogut thought he'd travel. Referees didn't. Just controlling the pass there, Harrison Barnes, as the shot clock works now to single digits, and a mismatch against Dellavedova. Marches down to the low block. High arc on the shot, couldn't finish it. And here's Dellavedova, hard back the other way. Slow pass, Golding though, ready to fire. Fills it up once more. 19 in the game now, Golding leads all scorers. And he's knocked down another triple as Australia start to make a move.
The hole, I like it when they get it through some hands and get some motion before they get into their on-ball action. And then at the other end of the floor, we've got to find a way to stop this white-hot team USA. And again, it's been the on-ball screen. The middle on-balls have worked a treat for the United States tonight.
Barnes got it from Tatum, kicks to the corner. Here's Harris.
On the pass. There.
Knocked down
Ingles.
Barnes.
7 on the head.
So Joe Ingles picks up the foul.
Give a look at the foul. There it is, just trying to get over the top. Oh no, it's this one here.
Sure, but that one is very hey. Let's go.
Well, I wasn't sure which one they actually called.
USA to restart. Donovan Mitchell does just that. Here's Tatum. Getting no change there from Mitch Creek. Shot clock works to 5. He's casual about it, Donovan Mitchell. Couldn't complete. How about the offensive rebound, though, from Harrison Barnes?
Good size. Tremendous shooter, but does this time does some great work on the box out. Matty Dellavedova just needs to get a little lower center of gravity, try and get into the knees so he doesn't get pushed out in that rebounding contest.
55.
Oh, Mitch Creek with an obvious holding foul there.
Green, 5.
Real critical time now for Australia because this has the potential to get messy. Real messy. They need to grind it out. Tempo's still important. Somehow or other, they've got to figure out in their own minds that it's 0-0 here. And the scores are all tied up and play every possession like it's your last.
Well, and let's not forget, this is in preparation for the World Cup that starts in just over a week. So you need to get something out of every possession because for Australia to win a medal, we need improvement in various areas.
Barnes got a good look, can't complete it. Bogut the rebound and off and running as well. Plumlee on his hip. 4 minutes played in the final term. It's 8 points apiece since three-quarter time. Ingles, Bogut down low on Plumlee. Works into the paint. Quick release. And Napaivano wouldn't fall for Bogut. He's now 2 of 4 from the field. Has 4 points, 3 boards, Andrew Bogut so far. Tatum likes his chances here in a mismatch against Dellavedova. Couldn't complete it though. Dellavedova and Creek, they both left it for one another. And Donovan Mitchell scurries after it. Might have stepped out of court. The communication, the cohesion we saw in the first half, just not there in the second half for the Boomers.
And that comes with more time together. That's what these games are all about. And preparing for the World Cup as Sobey checks into the game to see his first action.
There has been improvement, though, for Australia. since we saw them a week ago.
Significant
Both at the
improvement.
defensive end and at the offensive end. So with this sort of improvement, again, the expectation for Saturday, another opportunity to take on the big dogs in the USA, as Paddy Mills will want to get firing in this last 5 minutes.
Kemba Walker against Sobey, feeds Plumlee from close range. Well, he pushed off, according to Andrew Bogut. Referees didn't see it that way as Plumlee adds to the tally.
I think Andrew Bogut was more concerned about the rotation from his teammate. He's come over to help, and I think he wanted someone to pin down and tag his diver.
Oh, that's a nice finish. Takes some anger out as he's swinging upstairs on the rim there, Andrew Bogut. Give the fans something to cheer about.
Good post from Mitch Creek too. Good recognition, seeing the big fella straight down the middle for an easy one.
Walker from outside comes up with the goods. 19 in the game now for Walker, but just 2 of 7 from long range. 18-point edge. Margin has never been bigger at any stage in the game. Mills cutting hard to the hoop, and again it's a nice find from the big man Andrew Bogut as Mills adds to his tally now with 19.
I'm not sure there's a better big man in the world that plays off that elbow and can find people with that pass.
Oh, nice finish. He says he was fouled. Walker, well, this is a very good performance. He's got 7 points here in this final term, and that's out of the 15 that the USA have come up with. But Andrew Bogut, best in the world category.
From a passing standpoint, when he works around the elbows, and when there's some help, dives, gets behind the defense, still got enough bounce in those legs to go in, and here's that passing action. With that size, it's very hard to put any sort of ball pressure, so if a cutter gets open, he's good enough to find you.
Well, he's up to 5 assists tonight, Andrew Bogut. It's hard to argue. I think he's proven himself as one of the top centres in the world as far as a passing aspect, and he doesn't always want to play on the low block, as you know, Andrew. He wants to play up high and get guys cutting, and guys have adjusted well to be able to get themselves some easy baskets off that.
We're talking about Australia playing a little bit of zone. That time the United States were playing a little bit of zone, Case.
Oh, how do you like that ball movement? Oh. Jaylen Brown, thank you and good night. Margin out to 20. They did a very good job of being competitive in the first half, but since the major break, it has been one-way traffic as Sobey opens his scoring account. Walker's let them a merry dance as well. Look at this. Takes them all on. Bogut did a good job. Behind the back again. Sobey's knocked down one. Wraparound pass. Creek is fouled. Gets it done. Something for the fans to bring home.
Well, have a look at Jaylen Brown. When you in a 2-on-1 situation, this is a nightmare for Sobey. Not a whole lot he could have done when you've got a super athlete.
Not a difficult job either, throwing into that sort of athleticism. Anywhere around the ring will do, thanks.
Anywhere between 9 and 14 feet, and it's going to be okay. And down the other end, good offensive transition, good ball movement. Find a cheapie for Australia.
Well, we saw them do it for the Adelaide 36ers, Sobey and Creek. And they've done it again here. Great opportunity for these guys to be able to finish strong, try and work their minutes up for Andre Lamanis, his confidence in them. As we see Sobey just a little bit eager in the full court.
Well, 5 unanswered points here from Australia, adding some respectability to the scoreline. Cut it back to 15 where we started this term.
You can see with this game how Australia their margin for error is so small. They need everything to go right. They need to shoot lights out. They need to be able to put a little bit more ball pressure down the other end, figure out what to do on the middle on ball, and you say, well, you don't have to stretch your imagination too far to say, well, how they will be competitive and more competitive against a world-class team like this United States team.
And their overall stats haven't been too bad. They've been out-rebounded by 15 tonight.
Smacked.
That's just an athleticism that makes it very, very difficult to be able to compete with. But as you said, all things going right, they play the perfect game. They can beat anybody in the world, the Australian Boomers. And when you talk about winning a medal, it is more than achievable.
Boomers have taken twice as many free throws as the USA here. And the crowd being listed at 51,218. which is an outstanding effort by the basketball and sporting community here in Melbourne and around Australia, who have embraced Team USA coming down under to face the Boomers, not only ahead of the FIBA World Cup in China in a week or so, but of course the 2020 Olympic Games coming up in a hurry as well.
Cam Glennon sees his first action as well. And I tell you, these are the sort of the games that Australia need, because they are in a very difficult pool with Lithuania and Canada and Senegal. Do not think past Senegal either. They've got some athletes that can play. And I'm going over there to do some commentary as well. And the pool, if they do get through, crossing over against Germany or France, my glory, Phil Dace, that is an assignment.
We'd take Germany though, would we? We don't want France.
Well, either of them. Either of them are right. They're very, very tough, both teams.
Well, I don't think we're going to look
Germany
any
got 5
past.
NBA players.
We don't want to look any further past Canada on September 1, because
I'm with you, Case.
if they lose that game in Canada, beat them by 20 a week ago, then they'll struggle to get out of the group perhaps. So that is a vital game for the Boomers. Canada September 1, then Senegal on the 3rd of September, finishing with Lithuania, the final pool game on September 5.
Love the ball pressure. Cam Glidden comes in. Last few minutes, up and in the lanes. And Mitch Creek that time as well.
Donovan Mitchell. What is he going to do in the NBA this year? He went from 20 points a game to 24. Whole lot more experience playing now for the USA going to the World Cup. He could average 28 points a game.
US hard at it. Good rebounding job, just outsizing there from close range. He can dunk, he can rebound. Jaylen Brown's got the complete arsenal here. We've got 4 NBL players on the floor at the moment for Australia, including this man, Nathan Sobey, who's left Adelaide to go to Brisbane, out there with Landale at the moment. And that gives you an indication of the quality we've got to look forward to in the NBL this season, where we've got 4 NBL players out there at the moment, and pressure there has forced a turnover. It took too long to get over the halfway line, but Sobey is such an athletic commodity.
And that's not easy to do, what Sobey's done. You've been sitting there the whole game. You come on the last 3 or 4 minutes, and to get yourself into the game, play some D, get your legs underneath you and knock down a 3. Seems pretty simple, but it's not that easy.
I hope our viewers in Sydney have been excited what they've seen from Team USA here tonight, and get out and support them against Canada at Kudos Bank Arena on Monday night, because Jaylen Brown alone, if he's going to jump up into the sky like that, it'll be worth the price of admission. Landale just able to find or be in the right place at the right time. High IQ player. Little known here with the Australian basketball fans before this warm-up series began. He's been plying his trade in Partizan in Serbia, averaged 12.6 boards and a block shot. And he's off to Lithuania next, before he finishes in the NBA after doing such a good job at Summer League.
Well, no doubt we'll see him in the NBA very shortly. NBA talent, Landale.
Let's not forget the United States also, they've got to actually make a cut, and still got 13 on their list. Can only take 12 as Middleton, as casual as you like, step back, swing swag.
And they reach the century. Timeout called. USA 100, Australia 84.
24 out of the 20.
At times, they have more than held their own against USA.
Oh, well, there's a lot of takeaways from this game. I guess the thing that sticks out to me is somehow or other we've got to get Joe Ingles going. He's a big part of what we do. I'm not sure where Nick Kay fits in the rotation, if at all. You can't overreact to any one particular performance.
So who else?
And the other one I like is maybe that Chris Goulding has gone up in the estimations in the rotation. Now, still a few more games to go.
Chris Goulding now finding Landale. Shot clock to 7. Baseline up for the second time. Fires over Kuzma. Can't complete it. Jaylen Brown grabs the rebound.
Well, and back to your comment about Landale and Cade, that's what makes it a strange decision for Jonah Bolden not to be playing, because there was certainly a role for him. The second half he had against Canada was outstanding. I think that he was the sort of player that was going to earn minutes if he had just stayed with it.
Shot clock at 5 for Team USA. Penetration of Brown. Hits the deck hard. Couldn't finish it. Sobey had it, but they've lost it. And Jaylen Brown eventually puts the finishing touches on. In the double figures as well now with 11.
Good hands by Derek White on that occasion. He's probably the one I think likely to miss out.
Six in double figures now for Team USA. Mitch Creek came up empty. Landale worried out of it as well. Inside the last minute, Kuzma. Now Middleton with it. So the margin at 18. We started this term with a 15-point spread. Now a chance for Harrison Barnes to add to his numbers. Can't complete it. Landale the rebound. He's fouled. So we're going to walk to the other end of the floor. You see Sobey. You blink and it's gone. It was active hands from Derek White who stole it from him. But both teams in a bonus situation here. So we'll walk to the other end of the floor. Free throws to come for Australia. And the Boomers 14 of 19 from the free throw line. In contrast, USA 7 of 9 so far. Landale continues to add to his tally. And he had the 2 points in the first half, Landale. Did a great job in the series against Canada. 13 points, 9 boards in the second game after having 18 points in the opening game. And only Paddy Mills with 20 had more than that. So 16 the spread. Shot clock 7 seconds inside the game clock. Pressure up the floor from the Boomers. We saw them bring the USA undone with a violation a little earlier. Derek White with it. Happy to watch the shot clock down to single digits for the moment. Going solo, firing over Landale. Caught it deep, loose ball. Creek gets there before Glidden. He's off and running. Perhaps the last play of the game. Landale on Kuzma, spins baseline, just wouldn't work for him. And Middleton puts a stop to it. And that is all from Marvel Stadium. An entertaining affair. In the final analysis, it's a 16-point win for Team USA. It's the USA 102 defeating the